JF Stretford, Paddock. As you can see, I'm outside Old Trafford, but this isn't the paper talk. This is the transfer review, and this is my inaugural time for doing a transfer review. I've waited for years, if not decades, to be able to do it, and finally they've let me do it because no one else is available. So here we go. Right, we're going to get straight into it. If you don't know what this is where we give the transfer rumours about Manchester United a rating. So we rate them out of 10 as to whether they're likely to happen, realistic, or not likely to happen at all. So obviously 10 out of 10 is Varane. 0 out of 10 is someone like Ronaldo. You get the gist of it. I don't know why we don't call it the transfer rumour rater. That would make more sense, but who am I to argue? I'm only a presenter and this is only my first time doing it, so whatevs. Koulibaly, yeah, that one from Napoli. Apparently these are reports in area Napoli. I don't know if you've been to Napoli lately, but if you have done, you've probably read them. And they're saying that according to Italian journalist Carlo Nesti, which is obviously the most Italian sounding journalist ever, Man United are back in for Koulibaly. In fact, more than back in for him, we've made a bid to sign him because we were interested in Koulibaly about 4 years ago, and now apparently we are again. Now this makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Apparently we've offered around 30 million for him, which isn't too dear, it's not too expensive, but he is the wrong side of 30, if you can have such a thing. And also, we've just bought Raphael Varane. We don't need another centre-back, certainly not one who, alright, he's not expensive, but he's not exactly free, and he's going to want to come straight into the team. Are we really going to bring in Koulibaly to sit on the bench? No. Are we going to bring him in to replace Varane, who we've just bought? No. Are we going to bring him in to replace Harry Maguire, arguably the best centre-back or one of the best centre-backs in the league? No. So that makes no sense. So in the spirit of this video, I'm going to give that 0 out of 10 because I don't think there's any chance of that happening whatsoever. So it doesn't even warrant a 1. There's not even a small chance. There's no chance. Leon Goretzka. This is one that's been doing the rounds. We've got it here from Football Talk. Apparently, United are still interested in him. From Bayern Munich, obviously. And are ready to offer, or have offered, a deal worth around 10.4 million a year. Around £200,000 a week. Bayern have responded by opening fresh talks with him. I would love to see Goretzka come to Old Trafford, but I don't think it's happening. And the fact that, no disrespect to Football Talk and via Team Talk, it's not really been picked up by any of the main newspapers, probably for a reason. It ain't going to happen. So I don't see Goretzka coming to Old Trafford. I think he's either likely to stay at Bayern Munich or go elsewhere, not Old Trafford. But there's a slim chance here. I feel there's a tiny possibility that maybe he might come to Old Trafford. Maybe I'm getting carried away by the fact that we bought Raphael Varane, and I think maybe we can get players from all the top clubs in Europe. So I'll give this I'll give it a 2 out of 10. Yeah, I don't want to start off too negative, giving out 0s out of 10s and 1s out of 10. In the spirit of this video, I'm going to give that 0 out of 10. It's highly unlikely. I don't see it happening, but stranger things have happened, so we'll keep an eye on it for you, shall we? This is like a double header, this one. Ruben Neves and Saúl Niguez, and this is coming out of one of the leading right-wing publications in the UK, the Daily Express. Well, actually, they're not even reporting. They're reporting on a report like we are. So we're reporting on their report of another report. So this originally came from Eurosport's Dean Jones, who was speaking on the Football Terrace podcast. United are going to get a cash injection from the Romelu Lukaku deal. Lukaku could go to Chelsea, and if he does go to Chelsea for around £110 million, then we can get money off that because we've got part of a sort of sell-on fee, a sell-on clause with Romelu Lukaku from when we sold him to Inter Milan. Are you with me? Are you keeping up? Yeah, I'm sure you are. Right, so we could use that money to bring in either Saúl Niguez or Ruben Neves. So this is a sort of double thing. I don't see either of these happening. Do I think one is more likely than the other? I'll separate them, shall I? Because we're not going to get both, so I'll separate them. We'll start with Saúl Niguez. I know Stephen Howson loves him. Very talented player. Maybe we can get him. There's been a few reports. He's not, he's coming towards the end of his deal at Atletico. They do sell players. His transfer fee isn't astronomical. It's not even a word. Astronomical. So I'll give the Saúl Niguez chance a 3 out of 10. Don't see it happening, but there's a small chance. Ruben Neves, I'm going to give that a little bit more because I feel like with Wolves, I don't know, there's been a lot of murmurings, hasn't there, out of Wolves lately, that it's not a happy camp. Obviously, Nuno's gone to Spurs. They haven't really done much in the transfer market. Players have been leaving there quite regularly. We know that they've got these rich owners, these billionaire owners. We know they've got the ties to Jorge Mendes, the Portuguese super agent. So you've always fancied them to bring in players and sign players and hopefully keep older players, hopefully from a Wolves point of view. But it does seem like, you know, with the fact that they lost the manager, they lost Jota last season as well. I know Jimenez is back in the squad after his horrific injury, but it doesn't seem like there's much to laugh about or smile about at Molineux. So I'll give, even though I think they're almost equal, depends what day you ask me, but I'll give the Ruben Neves one 4 out of 10. There you go. So Saúl Niguez 3 out of 10, Ruben Neves 4 out of 10. There's one more in, right, that I'm going to talk about, because this was doing the rounds this morning, and this is probably the most unlikely transfer story ever, or unlikely transfer rumour ever. I don't see this happening at all, but I'll talk about it because it's been reported. Lionel Messi is leaving the new camp. He's leaving Barcelona. So obviously people look in and go, Lionel Messi's leaving Barcelona. What's the one club that's bigger than Barcelona? What's the only step up you can make when you leave the new camp? That's right, Old Trafford. Yeah, so obviously he's going to want to come to Old Trafford. So people have put 2 and 2 together and say United are going to be in for him. Don't think it's going to happen. At the time of recording this, PSG have already made their move. It's going to cost about £8 million a day. They've got the money for that. It's highly likely that by the time you're even watching that, he's already signed a deal. But a few papers, the Evening News, have done a little story looking at transfer odds with the bookies. They've got us, the bookies, at 18 to 1 to sign Lionel Messi, just behind Newell's Old Boys at 20 to 1. So 18 to 1 translates to these ratings as -1 out of 10. If you can even do minuses. Can we do minuses? Are we allowed to do minuses? I'm asking producer Callum. Yeah, he says he can do it. He says we are just spiritual entities masquerading through life as human beings on this ball of gas we call Earth. We can do what we want. Thanks, Cal. Paul Pogba. This is in the Telegraph. Is Paul Labille Pogba going to stay at Old Trafford, or is he going to go? Strong interest from PSG. They want him. Now, it looked about a week ago like this was going to happen, like he was going to go to PSG, probably for around 45 million. Apparently United wanted half of what we paid out for him because he's only got a year left on his deal. So we can't play hardball, but he is still Paul Pogba, a great player. Also, from a marketing point of view, if you care about that sort of thing, which clubs do, he's a big name in terms of marketing. So we wanted around 45 million quid for him, which seemed about right if you factor in all the things I've spoken about. But now it seems like United are playing a little bit more, or harder ball, should we say, and it's been suggested that United want a little bit more, maybe 70 to 75, 80 million. With PSG buying Lionel Messi, or about to sign Lionel Messi by the looks of things, with the fact United do seem to be digging our heels in a little bit, and also the fact that Paul Pogba, again at the time of recording, because things can change, doesn't look too averse to the idea of coming or staying at Old Trafford, I'm going to give this a 2 out of 10. Now that's a big risk because there's a chance it could end up at PSG, but I feel like it's edging the world towards him staying. I may come to regret this rating, but I'm going to go with a 2 out of 10. And finally, I'm going to end on Axel Tuanzebe. This is Laurie Whitwell, who's a friend of this channel and a mate of mine. He says that Axel Tuanzebe will sign a new deal and move on loan to Aston Villa. He's been there before on a loan spell, helped them get promoted, obviously, when they're in the Championship. Came back to Old Trafford, hasn't quite worked out. There's talk of him going back there on loan. I think that's nailed on. By the time you're watching this, I think it could have already happened. So I'm going to give that. Shall I give it a 9? Because he's not done. So just in case. In fact, it's starting to rain, as you may notice. I'm going to put my hood up. I'm going to give that. I think that's someone's way of telling us to wrap this up. I'm going to give that a 9 out of 10. So those are my ratings, my first ever transfer review. Get involved in the comments. Let us know what you think. Don't forget to hit like, share and subscribe. I'm just about to go and get the barbecue out. We'll see you in the next one.